department be right up there at the very top. These men put their lives on the line. And I don't want to disregard the other employees, because I think your jobs are important also. I think you play a vital role to the city, but you don't put your life on the line the way that you don't get shot at. I'm not saying that they've been shot at, and don't think it can't happen in Troy, because everything's making its way from St. Louis on out here. So what do we do, and who do we blame, and how do we solve this problem? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up I have Joey McCord.
Can I give you guys a copy of the paperwork that I made up? Real quick so I don't run out of time. One for you.
Hi, thank you.
I said I'm doing it because they count that for my needs.
Mr. McCourt, we have another for the record.
What, who? Back here?
No, I'll provide one for the record.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Joe McCord. I've been living in Troy for the last 3 years, but my daughters were pretty much living out here for the last 10. What I put in front of you, after last week's meeting and listening to the police talking, everybody chatting, I came up with a kind of proposed budget solution with numbers based on the surplus that I think I heard, and I might have that number wrong in here, because everybody was questioning where you would come up with the numbers. And what I've came up with for the existing police officers, basically, we're talking about contracts, and this is all going to be numbers and stuff like that. So the major was proposing signing a contract. I figure a 3-year contract with a $5,000 sign-on bonus for each police officer, bonus to be paid out quarterly during the first year, bring all officers that aren't up to salary up to $60,000 a year. And I know everybody's head's going to explode here in a second, but that's okay. Allowing them to bring their cars home when they're on duty, because I think the major mentioned that last week. We're down a lot of police officers. The crisis is we need more police officers, correct? So we need probably at least 11 police officers. So basically offer them a 3-year contract with a $5,000 signing bonus and start their pay at $60,000 to make it attractive to come to Troy. Because pay-wise, they're going elsewhere because it's not attractive to stay here financially. You want to bring the good people, you got to pay the good people. And you got to pay the people that are here right now because they're good. They're excellent officers. Okay. And the budget numbers come out. What I came up with for 11 officers at $60,000, that's $660,000. Okay. You take 40% of that $660 to cover health benefits, which are required when they start. Okay. And it's ARPA, right? ARPA, not ARPA. And ARPA funds would be used to pay for the sign-on bonuses. And that's $160,000 for the existing 21 officers and the 11 that you bring on to get to 32. Okay. I'm also proposing, because everybody's up in arms about some stuff, there should be a 5 to 7% pay increase for city workers. I've estimated that number, and I'm estimating everything I'm telling you right now, because I don't have the figures in front of me, of $1 million to $2 million. So I think the surplus last week was set at, was it 19 million or 24 million? 19 million. So based on the numbers I've given you, the total needed for, if you have to use $1 million to take care of city workers' pay raises, is $2,084,000. Okay. The total needed, if it goes up to $2 million, you need more money from more city to pay everything, is $3,084,000. If you have a surplus of $19 million, it still leaves you $16 million to deal with. And the contracts that need to be written need to be ironclad. If you leave before it's up, you pay the money back. That's got to be in the contract. Absolutely has to be there. And the budget proposal, because I got my numbers wrong apparently, would be probably $17,916,000 left, or $18 million. Am I done? Am I out of time?
You're right there. We're trying to wrap it up so quickly.
Okay, right. Yeah, real quick, and then the rest of the budget, I would put some in an emergency fund, and the remaining balance used to upgrade equipment for the street department, sewer, police, cars, all the things that they need to keep them going. And since the sign-on bonuses are paid out of the ARPA fund, it adds $160,000 back into the budget, and that's what I have.
Very good, thank you.
Okay?
Next up, I have Gary Lyford.
I support our police department. There was an incident at the bank. My boss followed a robber out the front door, was holding him at gunpoint. I looked at the situation and decided that I could enter and be a backup. I quickly realized I did not have a shot. Building here, store there, street there. Officer shows up, gun drawn. He's waiting for the second officer to show up. He shows up, and then they take control of the situation. I learned later from Chief Taylor that they had a plan in place should they ever get a call to the bank. Officers were to approach from different directions, etc., training and planning well in advance of the need. Thank you for what you do. I was driving from Herman to Washington in the dark, unfamiliar. I relied on GPS. It said to turn. I did. I was driving about 40 miles an hour. As I crest a hill, I noticed a police car sitting on the side of the street. He flips his lights on. I pull over and quickly roll down my window. Hands at 10 and 2. Good evening, sir. Do you know why I stopped you? No, sir. Speed limit changed about 2 blocks back. Need to see your driver's license and insurance. Hands at 10 and 2. I did not move. He asked if I was armed. I said, yes, sir. Where is it? Left ankle. Are you going to shoot me? No, sir. Driver's license and insurance. Sir, my driver's license is on my left hip. Insurance is in the glove box. Go ahead. My driving record is clean. Last only ticket I've ever had was in 1968, the day I enlisted in the Air Force. The officer comes back, hands me my license, thanks me for my conduct with respect towards you. Drive safely, watch the speed limit. I respect law enforcement, whether I know them or not. Now, some accounting issues. Thursday, I understood the conversation about the city having some $19 million on deposit with inference that that money could be used however. That is not correct. Water income goes to pay water bills. Sewer income, sewer fees, pays sewer bills. Is there a $19 million surplus? Is there a $14 million surplus? I don't think so. Am I correct?
That's what the target that we have for the end of the year. We should have $19 million in the bank.
But it's not a surplus to use as
Because it's not
indiscriminate.
balanced.
Now, let's see if we can explain what a budget deficit really is. It simply means that you plan to spend more money than you take in by some $762,000. Excess expenses exceed income. A planned solution. We also heard conversations with the board that it was their responsibility to provide adequate police presence. I agree. It is also the board's responsibility to spend citizens' tax dollars wisely. That is some questionable with last year's budget deficit, followed by this much larger deficit. Deficit spending is not sustainable.
Got to wrap it up.
We expect balance. Our police department deserves competitive salary. Can we get an increased salary requirements without increasing the budget deficit? Can we reduce all other budget deficit expenses to cover this additional expense? I'm a Vietnam veteran. I totally support our police department and think they deserve a living wage. But I'm a Nebraska farm boy who was raised to live within my means. And that's what needs to happen here.
Thank you. Okay, I believe that concludes citizen comments. I did receive a resignation email today from Alderman Guy Grimstead. I want to take a moment to thank him for his service to our community and wish him well as he embarks on a new career. With that, I want to thank everyone who spoke tonight. You were to the point, direct, polite, respectful. That's what we're asking for. We're going to move on now to the business at hand. We'll ask that the audience please remember that this is a time for the aldermen to participate in their work And please keep any reactions or comments off the table. Let them do their work in peace and enjoy your government working for you. Item D, discuss and approve three-step pay increase for police department personnel, excluding police chief, as requested by Police Chief Jeff Taylor. Can I get a motion?
I make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just still feel we should make it the budget. That's just my feeling and thought.
I respectfully understand where you're coming from and wholeheartedly hear you and understand you. However, we are in a crisis for our citizens, for our businesses, for our families, for our children, for all of those people that we are elected to represent. If we cannot supply them with the services that they deem us necessary to supply them with, if I call 911, I want to be able to ensure that I have people there to show up. And I can't answer to a citizen and tell them why I cannot if we don't keep them. And we have men here who have left us and or leaving us because they care about our community, they care about where they are. They live in our community and they're here because they care about it. And we owe it to our citizens to give them the services that they need.
I understand, and I respect yours. There's a lot of raises on here. I think they should all wait. Everyone. That's, we have a board, and everybody has their. And I will respect all their.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should, yeah, pull your microphone right up.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
I said, we have a lot of raises on the agenda today, and I think that all of them should wait. That's just my opinion, and I will respect all the aldermen's opinions and how they vote.
Linda, is there money available for the raises?
Pull that microphone up, speak right
Is
to
there
it.
money available for the raises?
Hang on, I got it on the spreadsheet.
I mean, I know it's out of budget. We did this a couple of years ago too.
Our health insurance plan, we had budgeted for a 15% increase. Our renewal came in at 2.92% with premium credit of $25,386, which means there'll be an approximate savings to our health insurance to June 30th. This is only till June 30th.
Till June, right, until the next budget. Right, we're only talking an increase for the next 3 months.
There'll be a savings of $226,000 approximately overall, and the portion of that that comes from the police would be $126,643. Approximately. I mean, these numbers can fluctuate due to changes in health insurance levels.
So
Correct
then-
me if I'm wrong, but when, prior in the past, when people had asked about raises, you had always said not to include the health insurance because that was just part of the package. So why are we including it now? I'm
The health
confused.
insurance is part of the, it's a constant, it's a constant.
And you had asked them before, you said not to worry about the numbers because that was just part of it.
But I believe though, with the last raises, I think that we asked for that, the total number instead of just getting.
We asked for loggers and the other part, but the insurance was told not to include that because that was part of the package. And that was already included into the
Well, when you're
annual.
figuring salaries going forward, when I budget for salaries, of course you include your health insurance because that is a benefit. What I'm telling you is for the 6 months of the year that started January 1st, our insurance, we estimated a 15% increase. That did not happen. So I'm finding savings within the budget. That's one area. There's extra sales tax as well. There's other areas where there's savings or increased revenues.
And there's also savings in the salaries of the officers that have left, correct?
But when you talk about insurance costs, those insurance costs aren't based on the salary of each individual. It's just on each individual, am I correct?
Yes. And the
It
coverage
doesn't go up, if
changes.
their wages go up, that cost of insurance does not go up with.
No.
I don't know if everybody heard that or not. When we put the budget together, we had to anticipate what the insurance premium would be, because we get a renewal in January. Our budget starts on July 1st. We anticipated a 15% increase. Our premium is about $1.2 million. So we had to budget for that increase, not knowing for sure what it was going to be, but if it wasn't there, we wouldn't be able to pay it. So we budgeted that increase. It came in at less than 15%. So all she's saying now is that those dollars are in the budget for each employee. Those premiums, that money that we didn't use to pay that additional premium is still there. So some of that was figured on personnel in each department.
Just on that insurance premium, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Just on that insurance savings right there, was you said 226,000? Thank you.
Now, we could very well have the 25% increase in January 2024.
Correct.
And we won't know that till probably October.